I'm essentially making or forming a signet ring for the purpose of putting diamonds into it. I could have added cast and just set the stones, which makes more sense to most people. However, I'm a big fan of fun. This to me was a lot more fun because it was a bigger challenge. It's as practical as it gets. It's still a heavy ring, it's still very, very chunky, yet it doesn't have all this excessive metal which makes it impractical in many ways. My name is Jaco, behind the camera is Damia, and what we do is we share our world with what happens in a jeweler's workshop. Hopefully you find something interesting in the video. Hopefully what we do over here helps you in your workshop. Obviously this is custom-made jewelry, so I'm trying to extract as much of the customer's personality into a piece of jewelry. That's why this design was so important. We had some other aspects, and this is the part of that's so exciting, because as we develop this, I'm doing it with my customer. We change things around as we're going along, as it becomes practical. I've already carved the wax carving, literally just to give her an idea, and I'm going to be following the shape of this carving visually because I know that she has okayed this particular shape. I know I've got an oval stone in the center, and I know I've got these stones that are going to be exactly the same size running all the way around, trying to have this area which is completely paved. Therefore I've got to bring those stones right up to each other, and I'm using a laser. I'm creating an oval with all the particular parts on my software and then printing it onto the platinum itself. I'm piercing out the center part to remove this area where I want to seat my center stones setting, because it's going to be slightly elevated. And I'm dealing with a little section on the edge now, and I'm cutting that out, cleaning it up, making sure that I'm right on those lines. I'm expecting, if I'm working clean enough, that those stones are going to be perfectly seated. All the soldering that's happening on this ring up to very much right at the end, I'm going to be fusing. Now creating the little oval setting. I want to bring all of these stones as close as possible, but I do need the elevation of that center setting. If I'm always working slightly higher, I'm working higher because I can remove metal from that and get it right back to exactly the right size I want. And now I'm inserting that setting into that cavity, and I'm bringing it up so that it has some excess. I'll still be cutting some away when I'm setting the stone. The intention is to have just about 1 millimeter above the surface of those other stones. Why? Because I'm trying to merge everything together. I don't want one single thing. I want to obviously show off the middle stone, but the side stones must be merging in so that we can work with a maximum reflection of all those stones. So I'm creating 2 T-bars that will fit the profile by rolling out one long stretch of platinum, cutting that and bringing it to the side here, again fusing it together. Once I bend this metal, if you haven't done this fusing process correctly, or if you're soldering it, you will get lines. But I'm fusing it, and I'm putting all of my experience into fusing it, so that when I bend these parts around, that is absolutely one thing. I hear you say that I'm using a laser and that's like not really traditional, and that's fine. It's a tool. I'm modern and I'm learning how to use new tools as well, you know. But I'm also using pencil and old school block paper to create the shank part. Now I know I'm probably going to be slightly off, but I'm trying to lean towards being slightly bigger because I can adjust that. And then I'm going to transfer that paper by using a Pritt stick. Sort of sticks over just about anything, but you want to keep the metal as clean as you possibly can. It's not the standard signet ring like you would be buying from a supplier and just bending around. This has got a lot more dimension to it. There's rounding all the way from the top down to the bottom. But I'm working with plates. Once you form something round like this and you're bending it round like this, it tends to fight that form over there. There was a negotiation with the metal. It's saying, I don't want to form in this direction, and I'm saying, I know that, but I'm going to form you in that direction anyway. And there's not one particular tool that does just the one thing. You have to find the tools that will aid you to form this item. Let me show you some of the things that I've done and some of the tools that I've used to shape this ring, and maybe there's something similar or something different in your workshop. Find something that will do the same job. it's responding better because now I'm starting to treat it like a ring. It's almost a ring. Remember, I'm not working with a very fine plate. I'm not working with a 0.5 millimeters here. I'm working 1 or 1.2 millimeters. I think it's 1.1 millimeters, to be honest, thick plate, which is really not the easiest thing to bend. And on top of it, this is platinum. It's going to give me resistance, but at the same time, with that resistance comes a lot of control. I've now got the diameter that I'm looking for, and the diameter is basically the finger size plus the thickness of the metal that I'll be working with. Outside diameter needs to be the inside diameter of this ring. I've filed that and I've gotten it onto the ring triplet, and from there onwards I need to create the inside sleeve, and I'm using a black Koki pen to just trace the ring itself. When I'm looking at the tracing, it already tells me that I'm fairly symmetrical, so I'm obviously going to stick this on a piece of platinum, and I'm cutting it on the outside of that Koki line. I'm going to use that excess to melt and fuse that platinum onto the ring that I've just created. As I kept manipulating it, it ended up slightly too small as a ring size, but that didn't bother me because I was just going to open it up and stretch it so that it fits over the sleeve. That's what I've done. I've got a little bit of a gap over there, but because I'm fusing, it's like just adding metal on top of metal. I'm bringing those loose pieces together. I can add a piece in there without it ever being, there's no footprint. It all just becomes platinum. If you're fusing this platinum, it needs to be, if you're going to put too much heat on top of it, it might bubble. I know where its limitations lie. The ring is shaped. It's still rough at the top. It forms around the shape of the setting, right? I'm going to put the setting right on top of it, and I'm going to glue it on there. And the reason I'm gluing it is because it will allow me to take a very fine point and trace right around, so that when I remove it, I know exactly how far that I need to cut for that setting to be sunken into the ring itself. I need that stone and that setting, which is the center part of it, to have some strength to it. Obviously I'm going to join that outside of the wall, but the inside of it will be a weak spot. And then if you get a big knock from the top, I don't want it to collapse. So I'm creating a continuous tube that will go right down to the bottom. I could have done that with the first tube, just made it very long. I don't know why I didn't do it. Doesn't matter. I've created a secondary tube where this tube is going to lie on. I'm also carving out spots in this setting. You won't see it from the ring from the top, you won't see it from the bottom. It's not a feature of the ring. So I'm opening up the ring essentially in areas which you can't see, which are not part of the design, for me to in future go back to and clean it.
That is probably why you didn't make it a full tube, to be honest.
There's a lot of information in this video, and I hope that you guys are still there. Hang in, we're almost there. The ring is just about finished. Because of the shape of the ring, we thought that there's enough space to run a ring of diamonds around, and by bringing a ring of diamonds in, I'm getting more from the top view because your eye will grab the oval, it will reinforce the whole setting we're doing, and from the side view, which is gonna definitely be a part of the ring's design because it's a pinky ring, so you're going to be seeing the side profile, it's not going to be overwhelmingly big. So we decided to bring a ring of diamonds all the way around as well. All right, so this plate construction thing is probably some of the most fun you'll have. And when it is just folding something, that's one thing. But if you're forming something out of plate, that's like a next level, fantastic, wonderful. I can get lost in this, and it's difficult for me to let go of these rings because I just have so much joy working with them. This ring was fantastic to make. I really enjoyed it. And I hope that you get some sort of satisfaction out of this as well. Platinum, it's expensive, it's a big metal, but if you have got a bit of silver lying around, take on this challenge. Start forming the metal with materials and tools around you. See what you can come up with. It corresponds better than what you think it would. I'm very proud of it. Thank you all for watching the video, and if there's something that you get out of this kind of content, if you enjoyed what we're doing, if there's something that you're taking from this, please give us a like and subscribe. We will see you in the next episode. Bye. See you next time. Bye.
Bye guys.